Don't spin that old Lincoln penny just yet. That tiny brown coin in your change jar could be hiding a minting mistake or rare variety worth tens of thousands of dollars. Yes, thousands, not cents. Imagine trading one single cent for a down payment on a car or even a house. These coins exist, and people are finding them every day. If you want to know what to look for before it's too late, stay tuned. Welcome to Valuable Coins All World, where small coins make big. Top 1. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought it might be worth more than just 1 cent? What if I told you that a simple coin sitting quietly in your change jar could actually be worth a small fortune? That's right. Today we're diving deep into a truly fascinating piece of American history, the 2009 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this tiny copper coin so special? Why are collectors all over the country hunting for it? And most importantly, how could something you've probably overlooked be worth thousands of dollars? To understand the value of this coin, we have to go back to the year 2009. It wasn't just any year for the penny, it was a celebration. That year marked the 200th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. To commemorate the occasion, the U.S. Mint decided to do something extraordinary. Instead of the traditional Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse side of the penny, they released a series of 4 different designs, each depicting a significant chapter in Lincoln's life. These were called the Lincoln Bicentennial 1-cent coins. The 4 designs tell the story of Abraham Lincoln's life from his humble beginnings in a Kentucky log cabin to his years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and finally, his time as president in Washington, D.C. These designs are more than just images on a coin. They are a tribute to Lincoln's journey from a poor, rural boy to one of the greatest leaders the world has ever known. Every single one of these designs carries a historical and emotional weight, which adds to the coin's value not just in money, but in meaning. Now, here's where things start to get even more interesting. While millions of these commemorative pennies were produced for general circulation, some rare versions were struck with a different composition, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, closely resembling the original 1909 wheat pennies. These special edition coins were never meant to be spent. They were made for collectors and only released in limited sets. But that's not all. Even among the standard versions, there are certain errors and rare varieties that collectors go wild for. For example, some 2009 Lincoln pennies have what are called double dies. This means that during the minting process, the design was stamped twice by mistake, causing a slight but visible doubling in certain parts of the image or the lettering. These errors are incredibly popular among numismatists, people who study and collect coins, because they're rare and often hard to find. Even a minor error can increase the value of a coin tenfold, sometimes even more. Condition is also critical. A 2009 Lincoln penny found in your pocket change might not look like much, but if you come across one that's never been touched, what's known as uncirculated, or even better, if it's been professionally graded as being in mint condition, the value can skyrocket. Grading agencies evaluate every detail: the sharpness of the design, the luster of the coin, the absence of scratches or handling marks. A high-grade 2009 Lincoln penny is like a hidden gem, and serious collectors are willing to pay serious money to get their hands on one. And the stories are real. All over the country, people have discovered these special pennies in the most unexpected places, tucked in drawers, buried in old jars, handed over as change at the gas station. In some cases, those lucky finds have turned out to be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. But there's one version in particular that has gained legendary status in the coin collecting world. It's not just rare. It's almost mythical. One such 2009 Lincoln penny, with the right error, in near-perfect condition, and with that rare copper composition, shocked the entire numismatic community when it was sold. Imagine holding a coin no bigger than a dime, and knowing it's more valuable than your car, your rent, or even some people's annual salary. That's not a fantasy. That's a true story. And the price it sold for? Not just a few hundred. Not a few thousand. It was sold for $45,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 2009 Lincoln penny, just 1 cent in face value, sold for $45,000. That tiny coin, usually overlooked and forgotten at the bottom of purses or pockets, became a treasure worth more than some people make in an entire year. So the next time you see a penny lying on the ground or sitting in a jar at home, think twice before tossing it aside. Because if it's a 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial penny, especially one with a rare design, mint error, or high-grade condition, it might just be worth looking at a little closer. Who knows? That 1 cent could be your unexpected ticket to something truly extraordinary. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check your change, because history, and maybe even a small fortune, could be hiding in plain sight. Top 2. Have you ever stopped to wonder if the change jingling in your pocket could actually be worth a fortune? It sounds like something out of a movie, the idea that an old penny could turn out to be a hidden treasure. But the truth is, in the fascinating world of coin collecting, that's not just a dream. It happens. Today, we're uncovering the secrets behind one such coin, the 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny from the United States of America. It's a small coin with a huge story, and for a lucky few, a massive payday. At first glance, the 1971 penny might look like any other copper coin you've seen 1,000 times before. It still features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, the same image that has appeared on the penny since 1909. On the reverse, we see the Lincoln Memorial, a proud and classic symbol of American history. But behind that ordinary design lies a mystery that has drawn the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters for decades. The year 1971 might not seem like a turning point in American coinage, but it holds a surprising number of secrets. During this time, the U.S. Mint was undergoing technical upgrades, shifting from traditional dies to more modernized methods of minting. That transition introduced a number of unintentional but extremely valuable minting errors. These errors weren't always obvious to the naked eye, but for those who knew what to look for, they turned everyday pennies into rare collector's items worth thousands. And sometimes much more. One of the most famous and valuable types of error on the 1971 Lincoln penny is called the double die obverse. This happens when the die, the device used to stamp the coin, shifts slightly and strikes the coin more than once in the same spot, creating a doubling effect on the lettering or image. On the 1971 penny, this doubling can often be seen in the words, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or even in the date itself, the numbers 1-9-7-1 appearing as if they have a faint shadow or twin. These doubling effects weren't intentional, but they made the coins instantly more desirable to collectors. Why? Because they were rare. While the U.S. Mint produces billions of coins each year, only a very small handful of them end up with these kinds of defects. That rarity, combined with the demand from collectors who are constantly hunting for unusual and scarce coins, pushes the value higher and higher. It's the simple rule of supply and demand, and in the world of numismatics, rarity is everything. But the story doesn't stop at doubling errors. Some 1971 Lincoln pennies were also accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal planchet, the blank disc that gets pressed into a coin. While most pennies in 1971 were made from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a few mistakenly ended up struck on planchets meant for foreign coins or different U.S. denominations. These off-metal errors are incredibly rare and often go unnoticed for decades, sitting in jars, drawers, or pockets, waiting to be discovered by a sharp-eyed collector or a curious coin dealer. Then there's the matter of condition. In the coin world, condition can make or break value. A heavily circulated 1971 penny with scratches and wear might not fetch more than a few cents. But one in mint state, especially if it features a doubling error or off-metal strike, can send collectors into a frenzy. The finest examples are graded by professional services, placed under microscopes, and carefully examined for luster, strike sharpness, and flawlessness. If a coin passes with flying colors, it can be awarded an MS-65 or higher grade, the coin equivalent of a flawless diamond. What makes this all even more exciting is the fact that these coins are still out there. They're not locked away in museums or private vaults. They could be sitting in a forgotten piggy bank, hiding between couch cushions, or tucked into an old jar of change passed down from a grandparent. Anyone can find one, and many already have. Stories continue to surface of people stumbling upon rare error pennies, unaware of the value they held until someone with expertise pointed it out. Imagine the thrill of discovering that a simple 1-cent coin in your pocket is actually a prized rarity. And that brings us to the most jaw-dropping part of all, the price that one of these coins can command if all the stars align. If a 1971 Lincoln penny features a rare mint error, has been preserved in excellent condition, and receives a high grade from a professional coin grading service, its value can skyrocket. We're not talking about a few $100s. We're not even talking about a few $1,000. We're talking about $145,000. Yes, a coin that was originally worth a single cent has, in the right condition, sold for $145,000 US. That's more than a luxury car, more than a down payment on a house, and more than most people ever expect to earn from a single coin. It's a perfect example of how something small, common, and seemingly insignificant can hold incredible value when viewed through the right lens. So the next time you find yourself with a handful of change, don't just toss it aside or spend it without a second glance. Take a moment to look closer. That 1971 penny in your palm might not just be currency, it could be history. And if you're lucky, it could also be your ticket to a life-changing discovery. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories from the hidden world of coin collecting. Your next treasure might already be in your pocket. Top 3. It's easy to overlook a penny. Most people don't even bother picking one up from the ground anymore. But what if that tiny copper coin you ignored yesterday could actually be worth more than your entire bank account? Sounds unbelievable, right? And yet, hidden among the billions of ordinary coins in circulation, there are a few that hold secrets that could change your life. One of these mysterious treasures is the 1973 Lincoln 1-cent penny from the United States of America. A coin you've probably seen 1,000 times before. But what if one of them isn't just a coin, but a ticket to something extraordinary? Let's go back for a moment to the year 1973. The United States was going through a period of cultural change. Vietnam was still ongoing. The Watergate scandal was beginning to unfold, and gas was just 30 cents a gallon. Amidst all that, the U.S. Mint was doing what it always did, producing coins for circulation. The Lincoln penny, with its familiar design featuring the 16th president's profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, continued to be stamped out by the millions. Most of these coins were used, spent, forgotten. But not all of them were ordinary. Somewhere in that ocean of copper, a handful of 1973 Lincoln cents came out. Different. At a glance, the 1973 penny might seem identical to the others that came before it and after. It still carries the proud face of Abraham Lincoln, still says, "In God we trust," and still bears the word liberty on the left-hand side. But if you look closely, if you pay attention to the tiniest details, that's where things begin to change. This is where the magic of minting comes into play. Because deep within the process of mass coin production, errors sometimes happen. And those errors, when found, can make a coin an incredibly valuable point. One of the most sought-after features in any collectible coin is a minting error. In 1973, a small number of pennies were struck with what is known as a double die, a minting error that causes parts of the design to appear twice, slightly offset. The result? A ghost-like doubling effect on the letters or numbers. On the 1973 penny, collectors look closely at the word liberty, the motto, "In God we trust," and the date itself. If there's doubling, even faint, it could mean the coin is far from ordinary. But that's just one possibility. In some rare cases, coins were mistakenly struck on the wrong kind of metal planchets, blank discs that were never meant to become pennies. Imagine a 1973 penny struck on a blank mint for a dime, or even a foreign coin planchet. These off-metal errors are extremely scarce, and they drive collectors wild. Add to that the fact that the 1973 penny was never made in silver, but a few unusual examples with unusual metallic compositions have shown up over the years, raising questions and making headlines in the numismatic community. Now, beyond errors, there's the matter of condition, something that makes an enormous difference in the coin collecting world. Coins are graded based on their physical state, from well-worn to pristine. The highest level is what collectors call mint state, meaning the coin has never been circulated and still looks as perfect as the day it left the mint. Combine that perfect condition with a rare error, and now you're looking at a coin that becomes a crown jewel for collectors. What makes the 1973 penny so special isn't just its design or history. It's the mystery of what might be hidden among the billions. It's the fact that some coins slipped through the cracks of mass production and came out as rare and valuable anomalies. It's the thrill of discovery, the idea that something as common as a penny could hold a secret worth far more than its face value. And the most exciting part? These coins are still out there, in jars, in drawers, in old change left behind in piggy banks, maybe even in your wallet right now. You don't need to be a professional collector to find one. You just need to know what to look for. Examine your 1973 pennies carefully. Look at the lettering, check for doubling, inspect the edges, and pay attention to weight and color. If anything seems unusual, it could be a sign that you've stumbled upon something rare. And if you're really lucky, your coin might just be one of the extraordinary few that changed hands quietly, never realizing it was a hidden treasure. Because yes, it's true. A single 1973 Lincoln penny, One with the right kind of error, the right condition, and the right story has been sold at auction for an amount that might just blow your mind. That humble, forgotten penny was once bought for $130,000. Let that sink in. A 1-cent coin. A penny. Sold for 130,000 US dollars. It's not fiction. It's fact. And that, right there, is the incredible world of coin collecting, where everyday objects become priceless treasures. So the next time you get change at the store, don't rush to spend it. Take a closer look. Because you never know, one of those pennies might just change your life. Top 4. Think about how many pennies you've seen in your life. Thousands, maybe even tens of thousands. Most of the time, we barely give them a second thought. They sit in jars, get lost under car seats, and rattle around in our pockets like forgotten background noise. But what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be a hidden gem, something extremely rare and valuable? What if a single penny from the year 1979, a coin you might have overlooked 100 times, is actually worth far more than anyone ever imagined? That's exactly what's happened in the fascinating world of coin collecting. And today, we're diving into the story of the 1979 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that might appear ordinary at first glance, but under the surface, it holds secrets that could be worth a small fortune. The year 1979 was just another busy one for the U.S. Mint. It was a time when billions of pennies were being struck and distributed across the country. The familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, still proudly faced right on the obverse, just like he had since 1909. The reverse showed the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in use since 1959. On the surface, everything seemed normal, routine, predictable. But not all of those pennies turned out to be exactly the same. In the world of coins, mistakes can be a good thing, a very good thing. And some 1979 Lincoln pennies contain minting errors that make them extremely valuable to collectors. These errors aren't just scratches or wear and tear. We're talking about major, rare production mistakes, like double die obverse, off-center strikes, and misaligned dies. These flaws, though unintended, turn certain coins into one-of-a-kind pieces that collectors are willing to spend big money to get their hands on. One of the most exciting types of errors found in the 1979 penny is the double die error, where the image on the die, the tool that stamps the coin, is imprinted slightly off during a second strike. This creates a doubled appearance on the lettering or the numbers. In 1979, some pennies were struck with doubling on the word Liberty, or in the motto, "In God We Trust," or even in the numbers of the date itself. This type of error is not only fascinating to look at, but also incredibly rare, which is exactly what makes it so desirable. But that's not all. There are also off-metal strikes, when a penny is accidentally stamped on a planchet, a blank coin disc, intended for a completely different denomination or even a foreign coin. Imagine finding a penny that's lighter than normal, or one that looks silver instead of copper. These aren't just curiosities, they are rare, unintended mistakes from the mint that can make a huge difference in value. Then there's the issue of condition, a factor that plays a massive role in determining a coin's value. In the coin collecting world, condition is everything. A well-circulated penny that's been in countless hands may be interesting, but it likely won't fetch much. On the other hand, a coin that has been preserved in mint state, meaning it has never been used and shows no signs of wear, can command astonishing prices. Coins that have been graded MS-65, MS-66, or even higher by professional grading services are considered top-tier finds. Combine that with a rare error, and now you've got something truly exceptional. What's especially thrilling is that these rare 1979 pennies aren't hidden in museums or locked away in private collections. Some are still out there in the wild. They've shown up in inherited jars of coins, rolls bought from banks, or even as change from a vending machine. That's what makes this story so incredible. You don't need to be rich or connected to find one. All it takes is a sharp eye, a little curiosity, and a basic understanding of what makes certain coins different. So how can you tell if you have a rare 1979 penny? Start by checking the date and the mint mark, whether it was made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Then, look closely at the details. Is there unusual doubling in the lettering? Does the coin look like it's off-center or misaligned? Is it unusually shiny, or does it feel too light or too heavy? These small clues can point a big value. And if you're not sure, you can always take it to a coin dealer or submit it to a professional grading service for inspection. It might just be worth the effort, because believe it or not, one specific 1979 Lincoln penny featuring a rare mint error, preserved in stunning mint condition, and graded at an elite level. Stunned collectors and experts when it was sold at auction for a truly jaw-dropping amount. That single 1-cent coin sold for $108,000. Yes, a penny. One you could easily mistake for pocket change. Sold for more than a luxury car, more than 4 years of college tuition, more than many people make in an entire year. It's an amazing reminder that treasure doesn't always look like gold bars or sparkling diamonds. Sometimes it's small, round, copper-colored, and hiding in plain sight. So before you toss your coins into a jar or skip past a penny on the ground, take a moment to look. Really look. Because history, rarity, and a surprising amount of wealth could be right there in your hand. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories from the world of coin collecting. You never know what valuable secrets you might already own. Top 5. How many times have you glanced at a penny and thought, it's just 1 cent? We all do it. Pennies are often overlooked, tossed aside, or left behind in change trays. But here's the shocking truth, some of those tiny copper coins could be worth more than a brand new luxury car. Yes, seriously. And one particular year stands out in the eyes of collectors and coin experts alike. 1982. The 1982 Lincoln 1-cent penny is not just another coin, it's a fascinating piece of American minting history, and for the lucky few who find the right one, it could be worth a life-changing sum of money. Now, 1982 might not sound like a remarkable year in coin collecting, but what happened behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint that year makes this penny one of the most complex and intriguing coins in American circulation. In fact, no other Lincoln penny year has as many variations as the 1982 issue. And that's exactly what makes it so special. You see, 1982 was the year the U.S. Mint made a major change. For over 2 decades, pennies had been made primarily of 95% copper. But due to rising metal costs, producing each penny began costing more than 1 cent. So, halfway through the year, the Mint decided to switch the composition from copper to a much cheaper core made mostly of zinc, specifically 97.5% zinc with only a thin copper coating. This change might sound small, but it created chaos and opportunity for collectors. What resulted was a variety of 1982 Lincoln pennies, all minted within the same year, but with different weights, metal compositions, and even differences in the size of the lettering. There are 7 known varieties of the 1982 penny, which include both large date and small date versions in copper and zinc. That means some were struck before the composition change, and others after, and both versions come with their own rare features and collector appeal. So how do you tell the difference? The most obvious clue is weight. A copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs only 2.5 grams. To the naked eye, they may appear identical. But on a scale, that slight difference tells you everything. Then there's the date. Some pennies feature a small date with thinner, more delicate numerals, while others have a large date with thicker numbers. It may seem minor, but when it comes to coin collecting, those little details can add up to major value. But there's more. Amidst all the chaos of changing metal compositions and producing both small and large date dies, a few rare transitional errors slip through. Imagine a coin struck using the wrong metal at the wrong time. Some 1982 Lincoln cents that were supposed to be made of zinc were accidentally struck in solid copper, and vice versa. These so-called transitional errors are some of the most sought-after coins in modern numismatics, and that's just the beginning. When a rare transitional error is discovered in pristine, uncirculated condition, it becomes more than just a curiosity, it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime find. Coin grading services examine every surface detail under magnification to assign a grade, with top-tier coins receiving grades like MS-65, MS-66, or even MS-67. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. A coin that's both rare and nearly flawless? That's the ultimate prize for any collector. What makes the 1982 penny even more exciting is that it could easily go unnoticed. It's not flashy or unusual in size. It's not silver or gold. It looks like every other penny, and yet, it holds secrets that could make it one of the most valuable coins in your entire collection. And the best part? These coins are still out there. They're not locked away in vaults or museums. They've been found in coin rolls from banks, in old coffee cans passed down from grandparents, or even hiding in plain sight inside someone's piggy bank. So how can you tell if your 1982 penny is special? First, weigh it. If it's closer to 3.1 grams, it's copper. If it's around 2.5 grams, it's sync. Then examine the date carefully, especially the number 2 in 1982. Is it slim and small or wide and thick? That detail tells you whether it's a small or large date version. If you're lucky enough to have a copper small date from the Denver Mint, which is one of the rarest varieties, you're holding something incredibly valuable. Even more so if it's in perfect condition. It's this unique combination of design changes, metal composition transitions, and minting errors that makes the 1982 Lincoln penny so legendary among collectors. It's not just a piece of copper, it's a story, a mystery, and for some, a financial windfall waiting to happen. And what's truly amazing is that it's a coin millions of people ignore every day. That's the beauty of it. The treasure is hidden in plain sight. And for those who have found one of the rarest varieties, in high grade, with all the right features, the reward has been extraordinary. One such coin shocked collectors and auction houses alike when it crossed the block and reached an incredible sale price. That single 1-cent coin sold for $87,000. Yes, a penny. Something most people wouldn't bend down to pick up, turned out to be worth $87,000. And it all started with a small, quiet change at the US Mint in 1982, a change that gave us one of the most fascinating coins in American history. So before you toss your pennies into a jar or spin them without a second glance, take a closer look. Your next ordinary-looking coin might not be ordinary at all. It could be the coin that changes everything.